Welcome to Storytimer at Large. Unknown lady. Who is this woman and who put her in a box? The photo there is, the top left is the cardboard box that was found, and the bottom right is a sketch made of the woman who was found in that box. If you drive northwest out of Lafayette, Indiana on Highway 52, you will drive through the small town of Otterbein. On October 8th, 1976, it was harvest time again. One unlucky farmer was bringing in his corn when he saw a box, 9 rows deep, in the field. He loaded it into his truck and took it home. He was as curious as any of us would be, and so he began to open it up. Something was wrapped in heavy plastic. He noticed the smell of decay, and he called the police. Inside, several layers of plastic, bound up with tape and rope, was a woman. She was an older lady. She looked like someone's mother or grandmother. She had been tied tightly in a fetal position and shot in the head. Police mentioned that some of the plastics surrounding her were those protective carpet runners. I don't know if you remember those from the 70s and 80s. A lot of people who wanted to take care of the carpet in their home would have those carpet runners, real heavy, thick plastic with grippy little spikes on the bottom so it would sink down into the carpet and stay in place. They were a fixture in many homes where the homeowner wanted to preserve their carpet, and so those heavy, thick yet flexible, clear plastic runners would be put down. The impression that I'm getting from all the wrapping and boxing and discarding of the body is that some man killed his wife or mother. The head of this woman, her head was wrapped in paper towels. Over the paper towels, they wrapped a small white towel. Then the killer placed 2 small trash bags over her head. He really did not want to see her face while he was putting her into that box, I think, wrapping her up in those plastic runners. That seems like somebody who is close to the victim. You know, if this was a stranger, you wouldn't bother with all that. The box was a large corrugated moving box called a wardrobe box. The words hall closet were found written on it. The box maker's certificate says the box was made by Jean Goodwillie in Melrose Park, Illinois. That may indicate that the box came from around there, but if it's a moving box, it could have, been used multiple times and ended up further away from Melrose Park, Illinois, where it was made. And yes, boxes, corrugated boxes do have a box maker certificate. It's usually a round logo. It identifies what company made it and where. I used to work at a box making factory in their office. And pro tip, never say cardboard when you are talking about a corrugated box. Cardboard is thin and one layer like a cereal box. Corrugated is more heavy duty like a moving box. And corrugated has those layers, 2 layers of paper with a wavy layer in the middle. That makes it nice and strong. Investigators thought the lady had been dead 7 to 10 days before the box was found. Her body had not suffered much decomposition. I'd like to start calling her Ma. I don't know why. I just think Ma is what we could call her rather than unknown lady. Ma had graying red-brown hair. She was short at only 5 feet 2 inches. Her age was estimated to be around 60 to 65. They thought her eyes might have been brown. Ma was wearing a size 22.5 light green knit outfit, probably polyester. The way it's described sounds very much like a polyester set of pants with a coordinated top that a lot of ladies would wear. as casual everyday wear in the 70s. The top had a yoke, the top part across the shoulders area, a yoke of light green, and the sleeves and bodice were a patterned fabric. I can picture this outfit now. This is a classic lunch lady or maybe an aging grocery store checkout lady outfit. Ma wore a girdle and a cut-off slip for undergarments. It was her everyday wear. You can tell this is kind of just, something she would always be in. Ma had undergone a mastectomy on her right side. That's probably why she did not wear a bra, but only a cut-off slip. She had modified something herself to work with her situation. She had another surgical scar from her sternum down to her abdomen, down her abdomen, and another small scar thought to be from a surgical drain. Today, they do so many things laparoscopically, but back then, the scars would be bigger for a lot of surgeries that now we do laparoscopically. And once they sewed up uh, the big cut, they would do another spot, and surgical drains would be put in place for a few weeks while the wound healed. So a tube would be extending out of that for a little while. All of these scars were healed. She had quite a bit of dental work, but she did need more, it said. Her nails were short. She had calloused hands. She did not have a lot of wrinkles, but did have bags under her eyes. She wore no jewelry or makeup. Ma did not have an easy life. She was probably still working somewhere, and definitely working hard at home. Where was Ma from? Otterbein, Indiana, is not far from the Illinois state line. Investigators at the time felt she was from the Chicago or perhaps Gary, Indiana area. In many articles about this and other crimes, people like to blame all their crime on the big city, but Ma could be from Lafayette, Indiana, or a small town in Indiana just as easily. She could be from a small town in Illinois. How far would the average person drive to dump a body? Would you drive an hour, 2 hours? I don't think you'd drive a whole lot. This is also 1976, and people were concerned about fuel costs, and even though gas prices then would make us thrilled if we had them today, but I would imagine someone didn't drive too awfully far to dump this body. Whoever killed her and dumped her was strong, or they had an accomplice. There's no indication that the box was dragged 9 rows into the field. The corn was still in place. It wasn't knocked down, dragging that box into the field. This box was carried in there. One news article theorized that it was placed there by helicopter, but that seems incredibly unlikely. Also, if you had a helicopter and you were transporting a box with a body in it, you would probably take it somewhere even more remote than 9 rows into a farmer's field near Otterbein, Indiana. Who was Ma? Who was she? They were able to get fingerprints from her, but she was not in any system. She didn't have a criminal record. She had never been fingerprinted for any reason. This was not a murder for financial gain from insurance, I don't think. This lady is probably not super loaded. And also, insurance, you would need a body in order to get that payout. But they could have benefited in other ways. Maybe they killed her and then continued to live in her house and just said she had gone to live with relatives somewhere. I don't know. This is very strange. Who was Ma? In 1976, she was buried in a grave in the Fowler Cemetery in Benton County. near Otterbein, known as unknown female. I do not think there is a marker for her at the graveyard there at the cemetery, and it doesn't come up on Find a Grave. So hopefully the people who are the caretakers of Fowler Cemetery there know where her grave is. Still, if there was a temporary marker, it may have gotten lost over the years, but hopefully someone knows where she is, because she could still be identified through genetic genealogy. If they took the time to exhume her and get something to create a DNA profile. And there's no statute of limitations on murder. That's important to remember. Someone murdered this woman, and they got away with it. And I know I don't like that, and I bet you don't like that either. Who was she? Who took her life? Is there someone out there who knew a small, older lady who disappeared in October of 1976? At least one person knows what happened. Rest in peace, dear lady. If you have information about this unknown lady, please call the Otterbein Town Police at 765-583-2000. 765-583-2200, or the town marshal at the same number, 765-583-2200. It would be a nice thing to see this case solved, or at least just give this lady back her name and find out her identity. If you like justice and you like seeing mysteries get solved, hit that thumbs up button. And consider hitting the subscribe button also, that little bell over to the right. And consider sharing the videos by hitting the little curvy arrow, and then it'll create a link and you can share it with friends. You could paste that link into a text message or into another post somewhere on a social media site. Anytime you give any attention like that, hitting like or subscribe or sharing a video, anytime you do that, and even commenting, you can help grow this channel and help it reach other people, and maybe help get these cases solved. I don't make any money off this work, but I just do it because I have found that I cannot stop doing it. It's become a mission. So thanks in advance if you hit like or subscribe or share the video or comment on the video. I think we're doing good work together, you and I.